We have in from Southcoast Pediatrics, pediatrician Dr. Jolie Edwards. Doctor, we've been talking about, in the news, there's been this measles outbreak, and then we've put up some articles up on fun107.com about vaccinations and things like this. And there's so much debate that happens, particularly online, about whether these vaccinations are safe for our kids, whether people should be told to get these vaccinations or forced to even get these vaccinations. So we figured we could bring you in here and kind of clear let's talk about facts about vaccinations.
Yes. So thanks for having me here. And, I like the word debate because I think the debate is over. We know that vaccines work. We know that vaccines are safe. And as pediatricians, we rely on these vaccines because they've saved more lives than virtually any other opportunity that we can give patients. So immunize your child. Immunize your child before he or she starts school. And it's important that everyone in the community do this because there's this concept called herd immunity, which is the concept that if so many people within a community are immunized, it protects everybody, the infants, the elderly, the people who may not be able to get vaccines because, say, for example, they may have cancer or some immune deficiency that puts them at higher risk.
So now can you speak to, because the thing that some parents which fear giving their child the vaccination, they're afraid of the vaccination causing autism. Can you speak to that?
I certainly can. There was one very small study done a long time ago by a physician in Britain whose findings were later debunked. He was robbed of his license to practice medicine because his findings were fabricated. He was working for attorneys suing vaccine manufacturers. And any research that's been done both before that time and after has failed to show any link between MMR and autism. In fact, the Autism Speaks has put up on their website,
really? Please
immunize. Vaccines do not cause autism.
No kidding,
yes.
Really? Wow.
Indeed.
Because as recently as a couple of weeks ago, I saw some senator who said about how he knew of kids that were perfectly normal. They get the vaccine and then they are not. Like, then they can't talk and things like this. You've never run into anything like that in your career?
I haven't. You know what's interesting is when things happen at the same period in time, people think that's causality. But in reality, it's just correlation. The fact that we give MMR vaccine around the age of a year when kids are starting to walk and talk, if they're not doing that, and it's the same time that they're getting the vaccines, people may think, well, gee, one happened at the same time as the other, so therefore they must be related. But in reality, they are not.
What do you suggest for people that have children that are not old enough for vaccines, or maybe they have a few children and some of those children are of age and some are not? What can you do?
Again, anyone who is eligible to be vaccinated, get them vaccinated. That even includes, say, parents who may have newborns who can't get the flu vaccine. The parents themselves can. So anyone in the household who is old enough should be immunized. And for those who aren't, keep them out of, large populated areas during cold flu season, those sorts of things.
Were you surprised at this measles outbreak? Did you kind of think that those days were behind us?
I wish those days were behind us because at one point there was no measles in the United States. In 2000, there was no measles. And with declining rates of vaccination, particularly in the areas of the country that have been focused on in the media recently, we know that measles is back. And with international travel, with airplane travel, it's inevitable that that's going to spread. And it can spread quickly because measles is one of the most contagious viruses out there.
It can be deadly.
And can be deadly. And it's almost 100% chance. I mean, 9 out of 10 or more people exposed to measles are going to get it.
And it's not like chickenpox where if you get it once, that's it. It's like you can get it numerous times.
Well, if you're able to even survive that first, incidence of measles, you can get encephalitis with measles. Wow. You can have, really serious, deadly infection.
Now, what about, because the other thing that I see parents who do not give their kids these vaccines, one of the things they're concerned about is mercury in the vaccinations. Can you speak to that?
Yes. In Massachusetts, our vaccines are thimerosal-free. Thimerosal is the preservative that is having mercury in it. Our vaccines have been made in Massachusetts, have been thimerosal-free for a very long time, and they're very safe.
So there is, in your medical opinion, there is no reason to not vaccinate your child.
In my medical opinion, there is no reason not to vaccinate your child.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it very much, Doctor. It's Dr. Jolie Edwards from the Southcoast Pediatrics Group. Thank you so much for coming on this morning and giving us some facts on Fun 107.